Yeah. Let's see what comes up over here. Put these on. Let's. Okay. Whoever this is, whoever's here, I have to put my glasses back on. Whoops. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Whoever's there, whoever isn't there, we're going to start. We have a lot of material to get through, and we want to have some time for questions. As I shared with you last week, by profession, we're both educators, and the actual teacher, and I thought it would be, okay, who was that there? Woo. K and J. Hi. I really think it would be good. It would be a good idea. And we talked about this, to have presentations of slides so that you'll be able to go back to the videos, okay, and be able to read stuff, before you, so that you know what's going on. Hey, Iron Dog and Larisha and TJ's Woodworking. Hey, okay, we're going to start in one quick second. But first, I want to give a shout out, 2 shout outs. First shout out is to Andy's Backyard Shop. You see him around? Hi, Kelly. Okay. You see him around, and where am I here? Oh, for goodness sakes. That ain't working. Hold on.
It's the delay here.
Okay, I just made Kelly a moderator. Okay. This is Andy's Backyard Shop. God, you should have a wrench, Kelly. And there was an auction for Wholesome Roots, and I bid on this, and I won it. And it says, there's nothing like home. It's absolutely beautiful. If you are looking for woodworking to purchase for a gift, I suggest you visit Andy's Backyard Shop. And this is just like our home. It's white, and it has actually 4 barns over on the left. We just have to have a silo soon. The other thing is a shout out for Pickerick. I'm going to spell his channel. Andy or Kelly, honey, I hate to ask you, but can you just post it on Pickerick? I'm not sure if Pickerick's going to make it here, or Susan. So I like to have 2 of you. Hi, Noah's. Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah. Okay, and Pickerick won. Now, for those of you that don't know, every morning at 7:30, between 7:30 and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, he has a morning chat with coffee. His chats are fantastic. It's no nonsense. Susan Sullivan holds the line over there. Okay. He has a great group of people, and I learn a lot. And, once he gets to know you, you can go up, anyone can go up and join the channel. It's just a great place to be. A lot of times Iron Dog goes over there, huh? Yeah. Hi, Melissa. Yeah. Well, anyway, this, hi, everybody. I'm going to keep moving here. I'll be able to say hi in a few minutes. Okay. Arky and Christy and all of you all, and Melissa and the Luxo Zombie. Hi, fine. What's up? Okay. We're getting there. Pickerick. Oh, yeah. Well, this Thursday, meaning tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Pickerick's channel from 8 until 10. Okay. It's a seed stream. The first hour is knowledge. The second hour is you can ask questions and get information. He has enlisted the help of Tessie, who we all know and love from Homestead Tessie, And that girl knows everything there is to know about seeds and planting because they eat from their gardens, okay? And also Daniel from Go for Green, who's our aquaponics guy. Now, we live up here in the north, so I don't know about aquaponics up here, but those three. And then the first hour from 8 to 9, presentation on all kinds of seeds. And from 9 till 10 are questions, okay? Now, our presentation tonight, and here's the format. B-Man will be answering your questions. I will be reading your questions. And thank you, Kelly, and also holding down the presentation. Like I said, I think this is a real good way for those of you that are looking to get into beekeeping. I don't want anybody lost out there, okay? Anyone in the chat who has a comment or something to say about something you see on this presentation, as I always say, please put it in caps, let me know. Okay, because no one person knows everything. All righty. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to where it is. Hopefully, oh, let's see. I want to go this way first. Screen share. Okay, and it's gonna be an application window, and it's gonna be this one, and it's gonna be this one. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time until you all get there. Where I am. Noah's Ark. We are way western New York, right near the Canadian border. And what? Oh, I have it now. We are way western New York. Okay. Now, what you need to be a successful beekeeper. Those of you who were here last week know that last week we went over all the conceivable types of bees you can get for where you are. I am looking for some of the bees like Russian bees and car something bees, not Carnolian, Cardovan, and I'm finding out they're harder to see. Okay, what you need to be a successful beekeeper. You have decided to become a beekeeper. I'm reading this because those of you that are chatting, you just go ahead and chat because I know half of the stream is chatting. Just have a good time. You have decided to become a beekeeper. Yippee! It may very well take a little more time and fortitude than you originally thought, but if you stick with it, it will be well worth it. You have spent a good amount of time thinking about what you need to be prepared to be a successful beekeeper. Now it is time to stop thinking and begin preparing for all of the things that you and your bees will need for both of you to be successful. Remember, your bees do not want you to fail. If you fail, your bees are dead or they have to leave. So you don't want that, or they're going to get eaten up by parasites. And what bee wants that? Okay. You have studied the different types of honeybees. We did that last week, remember? Okay, and matched what is available for you to purchase with your environment. You have read and decided on either beginning with nucs, packages, or catching and or attracting a bee swarm. Those are the three things we're going to review tonight because people are out there going, well, should I get packages? Well, should I get nucs? How am I going to start? Last week, we showed you the different types of bees. This week, we're going to go into, well, what type of bees are you going to be getting? Well, let's start here. You hear this? Hi, Chris. You hear this term nucs. Okay, if you're not a beekeeper, you have no idea what that is. Well, here is a picture of a nuc right here. Nucs, these are 5-box hives containing the following. So here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They come either in a wooden or a strong cardboard box. You get 5 frames. This is your box. Here's your ventilation here. And these are your frames. They are standard frames that will fit. Hi, Brenda. They are standard frames that will fit the standard beehive. That's one advantage of using the standard beehives. Okay, let's go down just a tad. Here's what you get in your nuc. You get a laying queen that has already been accepted and known. Whoops, you guys aren't there yet. Okay, there you go. You get a laying queen. A laying queen means she's laying brood. She's already been accepted and known by the hive. This is extremely important because introducing a new queen into a group of bees can sometimes result in the hive not accepting the queen. They can kill her. They can do all kinds. They can run her out. Who knows? Okay. Getting a hive to accept a queen is dicey. Not impossible, but it's just not something you want to begin with, because remember, you've gone out, you've studied, you've got your bee suit and everything. That's what we're covering next week. And you want this to go smooth, okay? Number 2, 3 of the 5 frames I just showed you above are going to contain brood, which are baby bees. In all stages, meaning larvae and capped larva. Correct? I want to make sure I got this right. Okay. So, usually. Right. Okay. Now that means that, I have a Bigfoot picture. Noah's Ark. I'll do that later. I have a picture of a Bigfoot. Justin saw the footprint down there. But anyway, moving on. Okay. So she has laid the brood in this hive, in this nuke. And third, you're going to get 3 frames. That's 6. That can't be right.
Yeah, no.
Which one is 2?
Well,
okay, it's going to be 2 on the outside. Let me back up here. You're only going to get 2 frames. You're going to get, sorry, folks, you're going to get 2 frames. This is it. Containing brood, and then 3 frames. Woo-hoo. Okay. Oh, okay. Usually on the outside, that usually are full, they will be full of honey, pollen, and bees. So you've got your bees, you've got honey and pollen in there, you've got 2 frames of brood that's raring to go. You've got, they know the queen, they're one happy group. So instead of a 10-frame hive, you have a 5-frame hive. Think nucleus. It's the nucleus of the bee family. Going down, advantages of nukes. I'm going to go down just a little bit. So let me see here. Whoops, a daisy. There we go. Oh, okay. Where's my mouse? Well, anyway. Over here? Nope, doesn't like that either. Nope, doesn't like that either. Okay, I may have to change the mouse. Advantages of nukes. The bee colony, number 1, the bee colony builds up more rapidly than packages and do not suffer the sudden drop in population because of the aging that happens in packaged bees, because they do not have a storehouse of brood. Baby bees hatching and ready to soon hatch quickly. I'm going to leave that in there. Replacing the dying bees. Bees do not have a long lifespan. I think it's what, 3 weeks? About 3 weeks.
About 42 days.
42 days. After 42
Roughly.
days, your bees are gone. Okay. Here it is right here. Remember, the lifespan of a worker bee is only a few weeks in the summer, a few months in the winter in environments with longer winters. I'm gonna get up, see if there's any questions while I'm going to get this. I'm gonna get the mouse thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put the mouse, yeah, Kelly there. I'm gonna put the mouse, oops. Whatever that was. Oh well. Over on my other.
Noah's Ark said her dad lost, looks like 20 hives.
Huh? Where are they at? What state are you in, Noah's Ark? Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's going to be a little better as soon as I find out where the mouse is. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe Well, that's not going to work either. Anyway.
Oh, she says 2, not 20.
2. Okay. Already he's lost them. Oh, dear. Let me go back. Okay. So the thing is what it's saying there is you already have bees that are going to hatch. So it's going to make up for the bees that are going to be dying. So you have a routine going there. Does everybody understand that? No, 2 hives, not the same time. Are you talking about this year, Noah's Ark, from the cold? Because I didn't get a chance to see where you are. Okay. Number 2, because of the recent increase in package bee prices and postal rates, nuke prices are now very close to the prices of package bees. Used to be that package bees were dirt cheap and nukes were very expensive. I researched this out online before I put this together, and nothing is getting this to work. And package bees are about the same size as whoopsie-daisy. What happened? Screen share. I want to go back here. Oh, what's this? Whoa. Oh. I don't know what I just did, folks. Just give me a minute. No, I don't want to do that. All I'm trying to do is get it. Oh, hold on. Hi. I get the screen share back. Application window. There we go. This and share. There we go. Okay, because they're about the same price. But what's happening here is it's not going down. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me go up here. Next, package bees are usually significantly more delicate than nukes and do not need the careful handling that package bees do. What did I just say? What did I mean? More delicate and more delicate than nukes. Period. Oh, folks, you know, Kelly, your job is next week you have to, whoops, go back. Clear this up for me. Out. Over. Yeah, package bees are delicate. You're going to see what they look like in a minute. Next, the queen bee is already functioning as part of the hive. So you have a mini hive. Just think of a mini family, okay? She has produced the brood that is in the nuke. It is already a fully operating beehive, only smaller, okay?
Chris is asking for somebody just getting started, it's better to buy a queen in bees or to basically catch a swarm.
We're going to get to the swarms in a bit, Chris, because a lot of people have been asking me about swarms, and that's part of this presentation. We're going through the nukes first, and then we're going to blaze right through the packages, and then we're going to get onto the nukes. I mean, onto the swarms, okay? So hold that kitty tight. Okay. Next, regardless of when you purchase them, nukes can be set up later in the spring when weather conditions improve and more reliable nectar and pollen sources become available in your area. Remember, so you go pick up your package, you go pick up your nuke, you've got 3 days, I don't know, something happens in the spring, and all of a sudden it's like 40 degrees out there and thunderstorms or something. Well, you're going to have trouble putting up a package. But a nuke is just like a hive. No difference, okay? You can even feed a nuke, okay? Nukes build up the hive population faster, and this increases your chance for a successful hive and larger honey producing. Nukes hit the ground running. Remember that. Check your prices well. Nukes hit the ground running, okay? Next, here we go with the package bees. A lot of people think they come in a package. Well, they don't. They come like this. Package bees. They come in a box, a little box. However, the queen bee is separated in a small box. She's not part of that hive, folks. Okay, so They don't know who she is. Once your package bees arrive, you set them up, which means add them to their new home, a beehive, usually a deep with 10 frames. It will help them if you have previous frames of wax on some of the frames. Because, first of all, your queen is going to come in that little box. You're going to have to put her in that little box in the hive and hope to heaven that these bees accept her. Then, once she starts, she's going to have to go to the frames and start laying, as opposed to the nuke where you already have 2 frames of brood raring to go. That's what they mean by you're going to be so far ahead with the nuke, okay? If you start out with everything new, you might have a little bit, let me go back up here, of an issue because remember, it takes each bee quite a bit of work to make the honeycomb. They put their honey in the honeycomb. That's where they lay their babies, okay? The wax comes from glands on the bee's abdomens. Each bee has to first make and then eat about 2 tablespoons of honey to make 1 ounce of wax. 1 US tablespoon equals 5 ounces of wax.
Half an ounce is what
Half an ounce, excuse me. Don't have my glasses on. An average worker bee makes only about 1/2 teaspoon of honey.
1/12.
Well, excuse me. Time to put the glasses on. 1/12 teaspoon of honey in its lifetime. Are you starting to see why they're working, and why, you know, if you're going to use package bees, my advice to you, I mean, your best success would be if you've been a beekeeper and you have frames that have partial honey and you have frames that have partial wax buildup, because they've got to first go out and they've got to forage, which means eat pollen and whatever else is out there. They got to bring it back. They got to make honey. Then they have to eat the honey in order to make the wax. By that time, your bees could be dead, because at the same time, your queen could be going around laying the brood, but the nurse bees have to have something to feed those babies. Okay? So you've got all these situations working against your package. I'm not advocating nukes. I'm not telling you go to Johnson's Nuke down the street, which is a fictional name because we have stock in the company. I'm just saying that, you know, for your best chances, you're going to want to go nukes. Even if you can say, well, I can afford 4 packages or 2 nukes, go with the 2 nukes, okay? And there's a note there. This is why we here use the uncapping method of extracting our honey and give the capping with honey in it back to our bees. We'll end up with big bowls, and you'll see a picture of that, of like wax caps and honey all mixed in, just kind of like a mess. We take it right back down there and give it to the bees because they go right through it, and that's energy that they can use, and that's stuff they can use to immediately keep laying brood and immediately keep making honey. You know, a lot of people, that's nuke. It's up there on the screen. N-U-C. N. Yeah, you got to read, Chris. Get the glasses. Okay. Nuke. Because it's short for nucleus. It's the nucleus of the hive. You can't see his. You want to make them bigger. Okay. Try to put the questions in in caps. Okay. Now, are there any questions so far before I get to the infamous swarms where everybody wants to get a swarm? Okay.
Kelly just told us that swarms are illegal to collect in Pennsylvania.
You have got to be kidding, Kelly. Since when?
January 2017.
What? The whole state?
That's what she's saying.
So
I don't know.
Where do they think these swarms are going? Are you serious? Illegal. Okay, well, I'm going to go down to swarms in case
Who knows what
you don't
that's
live
about.
in Pennsylvania. You know, we're really starting to like New York. Okay, that's a bee swarm. That's what a bee swarm looks like. And they're really cool because if you're all suited up, I think they're cool. If you're all suited up in your bee suit, you just touch it, it jiggles like jelly. It's really cute. I don't know. Okay. Attracting a bee swarm to begin your beekeeping. In bold print, I must read this. Catching a bee swarm is usually only recommended for experienced beekeepers. If you have never kept bees, get a friend or someone who is an experienced beekeeper to go with you to get and set up the swarm. The Bee Lady Apiary, that's us, does not recommend that beginning beekeepers try to catch a swarm. Hi, Big Creek. They have to register their bees in PA?
You have to
Good
in Florida.
grief.
Yeah.
Oh, Kelly, that's a shame. What if they happen to come to your yard on your property? Anyway, everyone see what a swarm is. Remember that picture? I'm going to show you what they are, or tell you what they are. Okay, let me see here. Should have some questions in here because I get a lot of input. I mean, a lot of questions about bees. Attracting a bee swarm to begin your beekeeping. Catching, down here. Catching a bee swarm. Let's go. Bees will swarm anywhere in trees, gutters, inside homes, in cracks and spaces in trees. You name it, they will swarm. Hey, Jerome. Jerome's here. I can answer your question at the end of this, Jerome, okay? Okay. Or I'll email it if you leave. Catching a bee swarm. Okay. Bees will swarm anywhere in trees, gutters, inside homes, and cracks and spaces. As we get emails from our bee club about swarms, they're in floors, they're in walls, they're everywhere, okay? We don't do those. We only do those in trees. Because a bee swarm, let me take the bees out. Oh, folks. Okay. Because a bee swarm is a temporary state for the bees. Let's say this. Okay. The swarm will often land somewhere for only an hour or only a day before moving on to another location. I once worked with a beekeeper in a school, and she said, there's a swarm there. I got to go get it. And she went home that day to get it, and it was gone. Just gone. Hi, Rusty. Okay. This is because the queen bee is not a good flyer. Okay. Queen bees have large bodies, but their wings are the same size as those of worker bees. The swarm stops. I went a little S there. The swarm stops. What did I do? Are you watching me? Okay. Yeah. Now over this way.
Yeah, that's all.
Stops. Let me take this one out. Sorry, folks. Only to rest while the scout bees are out looking for a new home. I was reading this one woman's blog, and she swears she can find scout bees. She knows
$3,000 fine in Pennsylvania.
What?
If it's other than in a building.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay. Good grief. Okay. Some people become adept at knowing what a bee swarm is. I mean what scout bees are, and they can find them. Okay. If the bee swarm is new, like they just took off 20 minutes ago or whatever, they are usually quite gentle. That's the good side. Because they are full of honey. They eat well before their trip, and they have no hive to protect. Remember, bees are territorial. They don't have any brood in there. They have no hive. They're just looking. However, if they have been swarming for a long time, and this is like their second stop or their third stop, because they're going to keep moving, all right? They may be hungry and therefore are more aggressive. What to put your bee swarm in? Okay, so you see a swarm and you're like, oh boy. You go home, you say, oh boy, I got a swarm down there. Okay, you go back here. What are you going to put it in? You're going down to get your swarm. Any size container that can accommodate the entire bee swarm. That's very important. Most beekeepers advise having some extra space inside. Most swarms are about the size of a football. Some container ideas are cardboard boxes, buckets, plastic bags, nuc boxes, B-O-X-E-S, okay, and hive boxes. Be sure your container has a top and or can be closed, because otherwise when you take off in the car, if you've driven somewhere to get this swarm, okay, you figure they're going to take off. Now, you will have to immediately put them in. This is going to be in a permanent hive once you get to your bee yard. Now you're not gonna believe this, but this is here for a reason, because we know people that have done it. Do not take your swarm back and mix it with a current beehive you have. Do not say, oh, gee, this hive here's a little small, I think I'll put it in there. Wrong. If we have some of this stuff on here because we know folks that have done it, and we've heard of folks that have done it with disastrous results. Do not mix them with a current beehive. Don't do it. All right. So when you get your swarm in your container, you go out, you got all your equipment on, okay? You've taken a little bit of sugar water and a smoker, because I don't have this on here, but if they're hungry and they're a wild swarm, first I would go back to the pictures from last week, or any pictures. Make sure you don't have Africanized bees, folks. We don't have them up here as such. They have not been found. Our bee club puts out notices for different bees up here. But if they're just wild and hungry, and they're not chubby bees, because remember, bees are going to be fat when they swarm, or bigger, okay? Sometimes if you spray them down with sugar water or have a little smoker, you can calm those bees right down. That's why I say an experienced beekeeper will go out with this equipment. When we went to get our swarms, we took nucs. Just please don't just go out there, oh, we got a bee swarm, let's get it, okay? So now we're luring your new swarm into your container. Okay, you need to get as many bees from the swarm into your container or box on the first try as possible. I'm missing a word. You need to get, yeah, that's okay. Remember, the queen bee is in the center of the swarm. So aim to get that center area in first. I know in our case one time, we had the bees in the middle of a branch. I held it, and hubby cut one end, the other end, and we took it down to our container. Did we shake that in? Shook it. Well, we got it in there, and then just put the top on. Okay.
Yeah, it just fell.
It fell. Yeah. The queen bee is in the center of the swarm, so aim to get that center area in first. All of the other bees are surrounding her by festooning. Remember, we talked about that the other lesson, where they're linking their, I don't know what they're linking. They're linking something. Hooks on their legs. You will know if you have her, because given time, all the other bees will follow her into the container. Folks, that's the coolest thing to see. They go just like the little Pied Piper. They go following in. They know exactly where she is. Another one here. I've heard folks do this. It is not advised you begin digging through the swarm looking for the queen to see if you have her. People do that. Oh my goodness. That's logical, I guess. Did we get the queen? Don't do that. Okay, so now you got your swarm. Okay. Going down. Most beekeepers suggest you put your new swarm away from your current established hives, because you do not know what diseases or parasites they may have. If you notice in our bee yard, we have our swarm hive, our 2 swarm hives way over on the other side. Okay, I'll say there's our swarm hives, and they're over there for a reason. We don't know what they have. They seem resistant to everything, but you can't be too careful. Do not, when you get your bee swarm back, and you're going to have to transfer it to your box. Now, this is why it's good to go out there with a nuke box or something. Are there any questions here? Am I going too fast?
No,
Okay. Okay. You get your bees back home. You get them in the nuke. The best possible thing is to take them out there with a nuke. Okay, an empty nuke box. Do not disturb your new swarm for at least a week. Don't start opening it up and saying, you know, oh, gee, I wonder what's going on in there. It will take your new honeybee swarm at least this amount of time to build up honeycomb in their new home and for the queen to begin laying brood. If you do bother them earlier before they have established a home, they may swarm again. Why? They have nothing to lose. They're in there. They're trying to set up. You're bothering them. They'll take off. This is why, again, it is advantageous to keep, and you know, we keep ours in the freezer and then we put them in crates so that they don't get bugs and stuff on them. Oh, thanks, Kelly. Hold on, we're gonna be right with you. Grizz. Grizz, you getting all this? Okay. Ways to encourage your new swarm hive to stay. Put your new swarm in a hive that bees have lived in. They can smell them. They love a hive that bees have been in. That's your best option. You put them in something brand new, it's foreign to them. I mean, they'll stay there, but you know, you better have something in their form. Taking a queen or tacking a queen excluder over the entrance. I didn't have a lot of time to research that one. I don't know if they meant the hive entrance or what. I don't know if I would do that, but that's just me. Anybody have any information on that one? I mean, you know. Number 3, feed your bees some empty comb. That's the best thing. No? Yes?
No, the recommendations I had was...
We're taking that out. What?
Is that they are filled with honey.
Uh-huh.
And they'll use the honey to make comb.
Okay, so take out the comb.
Yeah, if they have a disease,
okay,
by building the comb, it will eliminate any diseases.
Okay, do not feed them comb and do not put them in a hive with comb. So you're going to put them in a plain hive?
Yep, and ours built up all
the
frames from scratch.
We gave them sugar water.
Not at first. You wait.
We starved them.
No, you wait several days and allow them to use the honey in their guts to build the comb.
All right, so
get rid of it.
There's always something new. Okay, now the recommendation is you catch a swarm, you put them in there. That's why I'm changing these, so it'll be right. Let them, I'll put that at the end. Let them use the honey in their tummies first. Next, give your bees a frame or 2 of open brood. Is that okay?
It's not necessary. The queen is
not necessary.
Will start laying as soon as they get that comb.
Okay, so
built,
yes, no.
Fast.
Folks, I need a thumbs up or a thumbs down on this. I don't know. I'm gonna put down.
I've never heard that.
Check.
You leave them isolated.
I have that. More on this yourself. And down here, I'm gonna put do not give a swarm any home. Let them live on honey they have eaten. Then what? And build up their own home.
That's what we did with both of ours.
Okay. I'm always inclined to want to feed the bees. So they're not going to feed them either? I'd feed them. But
not
that's
right
just
away.
Me. Okay, don't feed them.
They're supposed to use all the honey in their gut so that they don't transmit if they've got any kind of disease or anything. It eliminates it. They're building the comb. They're using their honey up. It's not, it's it's worked. That's what we've done with the 2 swarms we got.
Okay, folks, you're gonna starve them.
I'm not.
Well, you know how I am. I like to eat. Okay.
Yes, but there's a different intent here. It's a different issue. They're supposed to use up all the honey that they brought with them, which is considerable.
Okay, because the honey can have
they might have any kind of disease or whatever, but when they use the honey to create a comb, it eliminates whatever. If there were any issues, it eliminates it.
Oh, okay. Grizz, do you have any input on that? Grizz is our researcher. Where'd he go? Grizz, you got any input on that? Grizz. Kelly, anybody? Brenda, pesticides. They aren't starving. Oh, Noah's Ark. It's got to be a man. Okay.
No, the whole swarm is filled with honey.
Okay. Oh, Kelly says she never feed for at least 2 to 3 days so they can build. Okay, gotcha.
There you go.
I'm a bee lady. I like to eat, but I do understand what Mr. B is saying. You men do stick together, don't you? Okay, don't feed them. Let them starve for Lord knows how long. Leave them out there. Don't worry, us women will. No, we won't feed them. Okay, moving on. Anybody got any more? I'm sorry, Noah's Ark. I apologize. I don't know who's who. Okay. Okay. Now this I am encouraged by. Okay, folks. I found this. Whoops, going up here. Okay.
No, Jerome does something different.
What? Where? Who?
He puts
Jerome.
a comb with
honey and some empty combing with them, so they stay. You know, that's smart. He's in a different. He's in Oklahoma. I put a comb. Okay, somebody on my side.
For the queen to lay.
Okay, all right, gotcha. You know what? That's smart. That's smart.
That would be the only reason to put comb.
And that makes sense.
She can start laying immediately.
That makes sense.
But that's
right.
That's
we
not
didn't.
What I've read.
That's not the idea.
I've read that repeatedly, but hey, if it's working for Jerome, then it's working. You know.
Sense. Yippee. You go, Jerome. I agree. Yeah, that's right. She has a place to lay. I'll leave that up there, but I did say check more on that yourself. Okay. Now, I read a lot about what I'm going to say now. You can purchase a swarm catching set.
You need a C after the S.
Scent. SC. Got it. It's a scent, folks. From many beekeeping supply stores for under $10. I happened to find one. I did. I had Grizz, listen. Very good. Thanks, Drew. What's Grizz saying? You cheat. I'm a 12-year-old girl in a vagina. Grizz, you're nuts. This actually better be supplies somewhere up here. I don't know, somewhere over. They're near where I grew up. Okay. They actually sell one for about $7. Anyone, thank you. Oh, thanks, Jerome. Thanks. Okay. Anyone that is serious about getting a swarm, go to Better Bee on Google. Get this for $7 or something, and they just about guarantee you'll get a swarm. Okay? You can see it. All right?
Yeah.
You can catch a swarm catching scent from many beekeeping supply stores for under. These contain a pheromone, which is normally released by worker bees and will attract swarms to unoccupied hive equipment or a swarm catching box. I did research for like 20 minutes, swarm catching boxes. I cannot tell you how many swarm catching boxes are out there. Circles, squares, this, that, yada, yada. By the time I got done, I said cardboard box. I mean, I don't know. What's a swarm catching box? What was that one method you were saying it from I want to say Slovenia method.
But that's only to get the swarm to land.
Okay, you want to get the swarm to land. Would you explain that? Yeah.
I did that a couple weeks.
He did that a couple weeks. I'm going to do it again. Yeah, get your pheromone from Better Bee. Yeah, you have to keep this in the refrigerator or freezer.
No, okay, I'll have to do it because you're on something
different. You put it in a tree. I said you put it in a tree.
Old wax
You take old wax.
You take old wax, dark wax, and you melt it out of a comb, and it releases all of the scents from that. And you make a ball of the old wax about the size of a baseball or something in that range. You take a small string or whatever with a rock on the end, throw it up in a tree so that you can pull up a larger string or rope. And on that, you have this ball of wax. And you hang it up there so you can retrieve it. You tie the rope off somewhere on the bottom of the tree. And bees are more likely to land there than a mailbox or whatever while they're waiting to decide where they're going to go. So that's their temporary landing place.
Right.
If you do this, you have to check them almost every afternoon.
Right.
So you put them up there. It's the Slovenian swarm seducer.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Swarm, yes.
You got that, Chris? The Slovenian swarm seducer.
Right. It's from it's what they do in Slovenia, which has the most honey production in the world of any country.
Google it.
So, at any rate, you go if you see a swarm, if there happens to be a swarm in a neighborhood and they land on that, you lower it into your hive box. You just get the rope, lower it down, shake them off, and raise it back up.
I don't know about that.
Well,
okay. What I read was, and all of you beekeepers or people that have read, like I said, don't just ask beekeepers, folks. People read a lot about bees, and they all know a lot. Okay, I don't dismiss.
Where is Grizz? Where does he live?
Oh, he's in there looking for a cat.
No, where is he? Where does he live?
Oh, he's in Oregon. Okay.
Oregon?
Oregon. Okay.
Yeah, Grizz, you should have your stuff built by sometime in March. Because I think Oregon's a little milder than here. But I think you ought to have them ready by March.
Right. Now, I would say no matter what you're going to do, they recommend no more than 10 feet up. Was that about the height that we got that one swarm from? 10 feet?
Yeah.
About 10. We were on ladders, okay? You got to have your wits about yourself. Yeah, about 10 feet. So put your swarm catching equipment 10 feet up. Okay. Remember, some beekeepers here use lemongrass scent mixed with beeswax. I don't know. This is spread inside your swarm trap. Do not put too much in. Remember, bees love living in locations where other bees have lived before. And so if there is already comb inside, it's like finding a furnished apartment. That's cool. Now, here's what you want to know down here. When do bees swarm? You can get information like this from beekeepers or just watch your area. Depending on your location, bees can swarm spring through fall. Some conditions that usually happen are when there is really good weather that happens with a nectar flow. Okay? Nectar flow. What's a nectar flow? This is sometimes called the honey flow because they're going to be making tons of honey now. And is the time when sources for major nectar in the bees' environment are in full bloom and the weather is good for the bees to fly during the days. So if everything's blooming in your area, but it's extra chilly and raining, it's going to rain the blossoms off everything. You're not going to have a true nectar flow, okay? Vice versa. If you're in the middle of a drought and beautiful, it's like 110, you might not have a nectar flow. But during these optimum times, which usually is sometime during the summer, bees build up their hives and produce honey in abundance, so they often outgrow their hives quickly. This creates a strong urge to swim. Yeah, they're going to swim. They're going to swarm. A-R-M. They're going to swarm for a bigger hive and or more space in the hives, and they swarm. More space, too many, right? What? Time out. Gotcha.
Grizz, it doesn't matter what kind of wood you use. Most of the places that build hives use pine. I've never seen anything where it really matters, but you do want, I will tell you, you want a light wood. So you probably don't want a hardwood. You want a softwood. And the reason would be you're going to have to lift these babies frequently, pick them up and move them. So if you're going to use wood, I would use a soft, light wood, not like balsa, not super soft, but they usually use pine.
Well, my jury is out on that because I read something today. See, folks, there's so much information out there. That's why I love sharing. That said a heavier wood would keep them warmer in the winter. So you're going to have to decide, Grizz, your back or your knees. It's possible,
but it depends on what you want to pick up.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, so anyway, this is going to create a strong urge to swarm for a bigger hive and more space. If you are a current beekeeper and begin to see swarm cups in your hives, you know it is time to put out your bait hives and swarm traps. Redundant there. Okay, now what we do when we see those swarm hives or whatever, or swarm cups, we knock them off and give them more room. That's what we do, because when it's nice and everything's blooming, and don't just look at flowers. Remember the trees. I don't know why or how. Maybe I'll cover that in another one coming up. They love stuff on the trees too. So you got to watch everything. But boy, when they're in a honey flow, maybe you can call your local bee club and see if they chart it somewhere if you don't belong. You got to watch those bees every day because they can take off in a heartbeat. Yes?
Another Grizz. Grizz, I think cedar wood would be okay, but I don't know for sure. I haven't heard of that. I would Google that one because you're right. Google does have a strong scent.
Cedar.
What did I say?
Google.
Oh, Google. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Cedar has a strong scent, but
I split hives with new swarm.
But it's possible that cedar might be okay. Like I say, you need to Google that and check it out, or check with your local beekeeper association.
Look at what Jerome said.
Yeah, that's a common split technique. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, you make the hive think they've swarmed. Yeah,
very interesting.
I've done that. Yeah, we've done that here.
We have.
Yep, did it last year.
I don't know. Yeah. Jerome, I'm going to answer all your questions, but I want to answer one I found. And one that a lot of people ask me about. And that, people see our beehives, and this is up here in the north, and they go, oh my God, you have like supers and deeps and everything for the winter. And you're going to have all this space for your bees to heat. I have the actual article I'm going to send out with the web address. Bees do not heat the hive. They heat the swarm. Not the swarm, the cluster. And, they're flapping their little wings. And they did an experiment with thermal temperatures. I don't know, whatever you call them. But the supers, if they're filled with honey up on top, heat rises. And they're saying that the super up on top with the honey helps to hold the heat in the swarm cluster. Okay, whereas out toward the sides, there's nothing there to hold the heat. And that I forgot the rest, Jerome. I'm going to email it to you though. And Grizz, that goes back to what type of wood you have. It gets real dicey because I read all these different things and they said, well, if you have a heavier wood, it's going to hold the heat better. But then again, if you hold the heat in, then, yes, if the super is full, yep, that's what we put up there, Jerome, full supers. If you hold too much heat in, then you're confusing the bees inside, and they don't know the temperature is not going to fluctuate like outside. It has to fluctuate, but not enough to kill them. And then they're taking their cleansing flight. and they freeze. I'm going to go to the screen now because I want to show you all something. This will be up. Hey, where do we go? Oh, here we are. Hi. Because I'm going to have to show you on my phone. Oh, it dropped on the floor. We got, even though we wrapped our hives with tar paper, we got, now you'll have to tell them what this stuff is. I have no idea. It looks like this. I'll wait for it to go up. It's 6 feet tall. Okay. And I'm going to go down. Mr. B took it down to our bee yard, and we're putting it around for windbreakers on top of, around the snow fence or whatever.
Yeah.
What is it exactly called?
It's basically a windscreen type fabric that you would put on a fence. It's for landscaping. We got this. I'm putting it up down there now. I got some of it up today because the winter here has been more severe than anticipated.
Yes, it has.
And we're very concerned about hive loss. So I'm going to be putting the windscreen on the snow fence to further reduce the wind, to try to put the hives in more of a dead air area where wind doesn't blow up in the hive. So that's what we're doing currently, because it's just anything to modify or reduce the effects of this winter, which is really giving us fits.
Yeah. Somebody's asking how our bees are doing.
Yeah, so far they appear to be doing well. I'm not caught up on the comments here, but so far they appear to be doing well. We went over 40 a little bit today, and the bees were out doing cleansing flights. On most of the hives, there was yellow snow out front, which means the bees are out there doing their cleansing flight. Some dead bees on the snow. Nothing extreme. So we think we might be okay. But it's we know that there's one hive where the bees, it was a very large population. The bees in December were already at the top of the hive. They'd eaten through all the honey, which astonished me. So we put dry sugar on top, and now I've remedied. This is like vaccinations in the middle of an epidemic. Yeah. Now got dry sugar on top of all the hives. We've put tar paper around the exposed areas, which I had exposed, and now we're doing the more windscreen. All of this in the future, I'll be doing in October.
Yeah.
When it's 0 outside, this is no fun.
The thing is, up in the north, and I don't know, Jerome, when could you please share with us when you pack your bees for the winter? Up here, we're giving our bees a little bit more time, trying to see who has to be merged, stuff like that. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Noah's Ark. Yeah. Later this month and into February is when they usually oh, gee, Jerome. He said later this month and into February is when they usually
in March. March. We've lost a hive in early April 3 years ago.
Oh, jeez. When are there any questions? Any at all? Next week we're going to be going into bee equipment, unless you all think you know enough about bee equipment and there's something else you want me to go into, because like I said, my goal is to go through with these presentations. I know it's not like our smiling faces here, but you know, you got to have something to come back to, folks. Okay. And my point is that the cold doesn't usually go, oh, that's it. Okay, they starve. Yeah.
Yeah, the starving, what I've heard is it's called cold starvation, Jerome, is they're cold starving is that it's so cold the cluster can't move to the honey if they've eaten all the honey in the cluster, and then they starve. And
I go nuts when my thought is we're gonna do all the equipment. Is there anybody that doesn't need to know about equipment? You know what you're gonna have to have, or you want me to go on with this equipment stuff? Because I have topics. I'm trying to go in a systematic order. Jerome, Grizz, any input? What could be next? Anybody? Or I'm just gonna go on with it. You know, where am I here?
Thanks, Kelly.
Can you do what? Anybody, if you saw clean. Yeah, they have food, but they've gone through a lot, Jerome. They've gone through what about the bee patties? Are they like done?
No, they were still there a week ago. So yeah, Jerome, we've got extra sugar on top of all of them. And it's just going to be a matter of monitoring more often than I normally would.
Oh, okay. Brenda's out in Illinois, I believe. They're going back into the deep freeze by the weekend. Oh, my.
So will we. We're going to be above 50 tomorrow and the next day, and then we're going to drop 40 degrees, which is not good for the bees. They're going to drop 40 degrees or something in almost in 24 hours.
I'm asking Jerome how his bees are. Folks, don't let this scare you. Don't let this scare you at all. I will say this. They do recommend that the first year, don't plan on a lot of honey or any. Your bees are going to, if you're in the cold, next nice day, add sugar. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. Mine are fine, except the hive that.
Jerome, I saw, you probably have this figured out, but I did see where somebody said use lye on the ground in front of the hive if you've got skunks, that it'll burn their feet, but you got to be careful because it'll burn you.
Yeah, it will. Okay, well, our little cuckoo clock went off, and that means time for us to check out. We're going to go on with equipment. If you find that boring next week, I'll have something else in the backup. Folks, can you I love to teach. I'll sit here and teach all day. I love teaching. And,
well,
I
people
thought,
have to sleep,
Yeah. Hey, I know people got to sleep, but I love teaching. And I save all these on my computer. And at the end, my plan is to just make one whole document with them, and I'll email them to you. But I'm not going to mail them U.S. mail because that's printing and stapling and all that. But I'll email them to you. Okay, no problem. Or I can even do it now. I mean, you got to send me an email and say, what do you want? You want this one? You want this one? That's just an email so that you have it right there. Yeah. Anybody got any input? Let me know. Huh?
Yeah. Grizz, yes, skunks love to 57. Eat honeybees.
Really?
What they do is they scratch the hive. Now, this is their skunks learn this, but they scratch the hive to get the bees to come out. They then eat them because they like the protein. And they can, within 3 days, a skunk that's mature and knows what they're doing can wipe out an entire hive. So, because you have skunks in the area doesn't mean they're going to get to your hives. We have skunks and so far, knock on wood, they haven't touched
we have
hives.
The food chain here. We have fox and coyote and skunks and all kinds of things. So we figure, it's the food chain. Okay, gotta go. This is Simply Seven's time. So if you want, hop on over there. We're going to stop. We will see you next week with another presentation. and more talking whatever. And if you want a copy of this or the last week's, just send me an email with your email address and I'll send it on. Hi, 7D. Oh, goody. Thank you, 7D. I'll be looking forward to it. Yum, yum. That's our food. Okay. Bye. Good night.
Okay. Good night. Bye.
Whoops. It didn't stop.